When you own things that are valuable, that cost a lot of money, you worry about them being damaged or lost because they are valuable. They cost you a lot of money. And part of the minimalistic life is to reduce stress, to reduce anxiety. And the way you do that is you pretty much get to a simplified life where you only own the necessities, and the necessities that you own don't have a high value, so that if they break or if they get lost, you don't suffer mentally and financially. As an example, I have a little inverter pack that I drive around with because I live out of my car, and this inverter pack just fell. It's about $100, but it's probably one of the most valuable things I own as far as physical possessions. So when it just dropped, I opened up the door and it dropped and it fell on the ground. It still works, but I was initially upset, like, oh, come on, why me? What's going on? And then I remembered, look, that's one thing I own that's not that high in value. Even if it breaks, I go to Walmart, I get it replaced, and that's it. Compared to owning a $8,000, $10,000 furnace and AC in a house, if that breaks, there's a high anxiety that you have to call the HVAC repairman. You may have to get a whole new furnace, a whole new coil. My car's a 5-year-old car with 200,000 miles on it, and I don't want anything to happen to it, but if I get a chip in the windshield or a dent here, I don't stress about it as much as if I had a luxury vehicle. Like when I had a Jaguar, Range Rover, there's a higher sensitivity to having valuable things because they're more complex and more costly to repair. And I'm certainly not against enjoying the fruits of your labor, because I know that I'm extreme, and that's why we have insurances for some of these things. But what you find is the more valuable things you own, the more insurances you need. And most of the time, insurance is paid for stuff that doesn't happen. And if it does happen, getting the money from the insurance is a pain in the butt. And it just causes all this stress, all this anxiety. The hardest part about the simple life is keeping it simple and only owning things that do not have a lot of value, so that if they get broken or lost, there's not a lot of anxiety, anger, fear, depression, etc. Simple life. And sometimes on my journey, when I think about my next step, whether buying a new car or RV or house, I have to remind myself that. And it's moments like this, like when my inverter drops on the floor, or, when I have to get new tires or something. I think about, I had to get new tires recently on my car, and each new tire was like $100. If I had a big motorhome, even a Class B van or something, the cost would have been double. Every time you get more complex, you add cost, you add anxiety, and also logistics. Like, if you had to get new tires on a Class B motorhome, they may not be readily available. They may not be in inventory. If you had a top-of-the-line audio system, it's something that maybe the parts aren't readily available. Like I remember when I had a house, I had like this surround sound system from Sony. At that time, it was like state-of-the-art. And there was a component that didn't work. And going back and forth with Sony to try to get that component, because it wasn't that like common of a model number, it was a pain in the butt. And I remember that moment. I remember moments in my life trying to get an oil change on a Range Rover at like Jiffy Lube. And they were like, well, we don't service luxury automobiles, at that time anyway. We don't want to be responsible. They're a little bit more complex. We only deal with basic vehicles here. And I learned in my life that I like disposable. I like disposable plates, disposable silverware. Why? Because I remember being at my grandmother's when I was young, and I dropped a plate, like I don't know if it was an expensive, but it was like a ceramic plate. And when it dropped on the kitchen floor, it shattered. And I was like frozen. I was scared, And my grandma, she was very old at that time. She said, "Son, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And I appreciated that. But I also understood the value of when things break, if you feel they are costly, if you feel they're worth money, or if they're rigid and they break, they're not disposable, it's scary, painful, anxiety ridden. And when you drop a paper plate, when you drop a foam plate, you don't have any fear in your heart or scared. Like if I was in my grandma's house and I dropped a paper plate, would I have been scared? No. If you throw out plastic silverware, you say, oh, I shouldn't have thrown I made a mistake and I threw the silverware out. I like disposable. I like the simple life. I like the simple life because I want to reduce stress. I want to reduce anxiety. I want to reduce financial liability. I never want to forget these lessons, and I never want to stop sharing them with you. Because if you don't focus on them, like someone would need to focus on their sobriety, if you don't focus on them, you're going to get complacent and you're going to slip up. It's reminding ourselves of past lessons, of future goals, and that keeps us in line with what we want to accomplish or how we want to live. Now, we can't reduce all stress. We can't reduce all anxiety. We should never live so cheap that we don't enjoy life. I'm enjoying life. And certainly if you have kids, if you're in a different season of life, you have to experience life. But on your journey, what I want to tell you is what I told myself. Don't own too many valuable things because they will give you too much stress, too much anxiety, and too much financial liability, thus creating a lifestyle that hurts you more than helps you. And what I have learned that most of our stress is self-induced, not society-induced, not anything else other than we got emotional, we over-purchased, we over-committed, and now we're over-liable, we're over on the hook. And always buy things that are easily accessible. They have them at Walmart or they have them in stock. When you buy these unique things, unique appliances, unique things, yes, they're special because they're unique, but they're a pain in the ass because if they break or if they get lost, it's so hard to deal with. And this is a valuable lesson in life that will help you, especially for those focused on trying to live a minimalistic, simple life so that they can reduce stress and increase joy. Because when you reduce stress, there's more capacity for joy. But when you have high stress, there's less capacity for joy. So you only have so much capacity. You only have so much energy, so much thought power, so much, all of us can only take so much. We can only take so much, even the most patient of us, even the most financially secure of us. How much do you want to put on your soul? How much do you want to take? Don't put too much on your soul. Don't put too much on your plate. I had to learn that when I was obese. Cut your portion size down. A lot of people, they overeat and then they get acid reflux and they regurgitate and they don't feel well. Keep it simple. And that's the message in this video. I hope it helps you, adds value to you in some way. If it does and you like to support the channel, click that blue join button. It'll give you unlimited access to all my live feeds. Also, check out my playlist with thousands of free videos. Remember, keep showing up because that's how you get paychecks, when you keep showing up. Remember, take care of yourself because you are the most valuable thing that you need in your life. Because if you get lost, if you get broken, it's very tough to repair. Okay? Self-care has always has to be the top priority. And that's my message. And I want to thank all my members, thank all my viewers, thank all my supporters. You're always going to have haters. Keep persevering. And remember, more people encourage you than discourage you. So don't give up on humanity, even though sometimes I feel like it too. Okay? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.